Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and thank you for those just joining for the first time. Thank you for joining, and thank you for my usual viewers/subscribers for joining me for another vlog. And I cannot believe it's vlog 59 already, so we just have to give glory to God for that. This one is going to be a continuation from my testimony, and I can't remember the last time I did this one. All I remember is the hairstyle I had. So I had braids in that time, but I will somehow link it in this video. So I'm going to continue from that, and because I've kind of been jumping around in my testimony, hopefully this follows a logical order of some sort, but I just pray that you guys will be blessed and encouraged by this vlog.
Story goes, it took a long time, only God knows, but it's alright, but it's okay, because I'm here to encourage you.
So we'll kind of fast forward, so we're in 2021, so after I've had the chest infection, and then I don't know if you guys remember, but I will link it in the video, that I told you that I started getting headaches, had to give up my job, that I just started that in March 2021, and then I got an appointment for my headaches. But what I didn't tell you guys is that I also had an appointment with a rheumatologist, so yes, with a rheumatologist in that same month, so of June 2021, and it's actually an appointment that I was supposed to have back in 2020. So for those of you guys that have been watching, and if you haven't, please, I will link the video again in this vlog about when my joint pain started. So they actually booked me with a rheumatologist at that point, but because of COVID and everything that was going on with COVID, it got backlogged until 2021. So I eventually got my appointment in June. So I remember leading up to even that point, so between March and June, I felt almost depressed actually at this point, and my faith was definitely on a decline. I wouldn't say to the point where I was like, I can't be bothered to do this anymore, I don't want to do this anymore, this whole Christian thing anymore. I don't feel like I ever got to that point, but I was very close during that period. And then the letters came, and I was very thankful to God, because I was like, finally I have an appointment for this, and finally hopefully I have an answer for the joint pains that just came on all of a sudden in January of 2020. So I remember going to my appointment, and I was very nervous because I was like, sorry, just going back a little bit, they thought initially that I had something called reactive arthritis after I started getting the joint pain, which when I read up about it, usually is arthritis that comes about after infection. But what it kind of didn't make sense to me is when I was reading it, it didn't sound like the infection I had. My infection was more of like a flu-y kind of infection, but this one was more around the reproductive system, infections happening there. If I'm not wrong, I can't really remember exactly. This is 2 years ago, guys, so please do bear with me. But I think it was more to do with that, so it didn't really make sense, but I was just like, okay. So as I said, going back now to the appointment, so that's the reason why I went to see a rheumatologist. So yeah, I remember going to my appointment, and I was really nervous about it because I was like, I don't want to have arthritis, but I do. And that sounds really weird, guys, and I'm not wishing arthritis on myself, because I do have family members that have arthritis, and I know it is not nice at all. But it was more for the fact that at least I would know what was wrong. And then obviously the negative side of it, not wanting arthritis, was because I know how challenging it is to have it and to live with it. So I was really nervous, and just like a mix of emotions and all these things going on in my head. So I went to my appointment, and I had a really nice doctor, but my appointment took up to about, I think it was 2 hours or just over 2 hours, so a very long day. So I did not plan anything for that whole day. But basically, long story short, so he was doing a lot of pressing on the joints and stuff. So he was pressing on my wrist, my fingers, my knees, my ankles, and all of that. And oh my gosh, as I've said before in a previous vlog, when you're in pain and they just press and prod at the pain areas, and you're just like, oh please, why? Because yeah, this is all cool that you can see the pain, but then I'm gonna be in even more pain when I get home. But I was like, Chelsea, just suck it up. Like, you want to know what's going on, so just suck it up and just get it over and done with. So then I also had to go for a blood test and an x-ray. So the x-ray was more on, if I'm not wrong, was on my hands. I could not remember if it was on my knees and my ankles, but it may have been. Please bear with me, guys, this was last year, and yeah, just a lot is going on even in 2022. So kind of had an x-ray and I had to do my hands like this, which was strangely was actually painful, even though I never noticed that I had pain in my fingers and my wrist. So I did that. So the blood test and the x-ray were kind of like urgent request, so I got it back the same day, which is why my appointment was 2 hours or just over 2 hours long. So after I'd gone for my x-ray for the blood test, I had to go back to the doctor, and then we were just going through the results, and he goes, well, there is good news. And I was like, okay, I like the sound of that good news, but I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was very hesitant, because anytime I've heard it's good news, it means that it's good in the fact that you don't have what we thought you had, but we still don't know what you have. So I was kind of anticipating that, but I was like, okay, it's good news, so maybe I'll find out and I'll get to know what's going on. So he said, from your x-ray and from your blood test, we can't see any like inflammatory markers, so any swelling. So I was like, okay, that's good. But at the point, at that time, I was like, well, I didn't think anything would come up because my joints weren't actually swollen at the time. Don't you find that annoying? You go to the doctors or the hospital for something, and whatever was playing up is no longer playing up. So they cannot see you at your worst, if that makes sense. So I was like, well, I know I wouldn't actually have any swelling because I can't see swelling at the moment. It's not swollen at the moment. And it's just very painful. And then the doctor said to me, so you don't have arthritis. Well, from what we can see, you don't have arthritis, but what he did say, which made me a bit more confused, he said you don't have arthritis at this present moment, or something like that. It was something around that kind of phrasing, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. So either I have arthritis or I don't have arthritis. But anyway, so I was like, okay, that's good, I don't have arthritis. And he said, I think you may have something called fibromyalgia. So then he was like, have you ever heard of it? I said yes, because I have a family that have it. And for those of you that may not know what fibromyalgia is, I'll kind of define it like quickly, and I hope that I'm explaining it in the correct way as well. But it's basically widespread pain, and it could be pain in the joints and arms, everything. And doing more research on it more recently, so in 2022, so now, I found out that it's a whole load more. You start to have stuff like mental health issues, so depression is a big one with having fibromyalgia. Some people have it so bad to the point that even if someone touches them, like the slightest touch, they're in agony, like their body feels like it's on fire. But even that being said, the doctor was like, well, we think you have that, but we're not 100% sure because not all of the symptoms kind of match with fibromyalgia that you experience. So I was like, okay, so it's kind of a confusion situation again, which again, that was very disheartening, because I'm like, it's always something. Either they don't know what it is completely, or they kind of know what it is but don't know what the full picture is. And you would think that I would get used to it by now, but it's still a hard thing to go through. And I think as the appointment kept going on, I just started to feel really, really like down, and I just started to feel really discouraged, to the point that I think I just started to zone out from what he was saying. I couldn't hear it anymore. And then I was just like, okay, I left the appointment, and I remember coming home and I was really upset, and I was speaking to my family about it. I remember that evening crying about it, praying about it, and just my faith during that time, as I said previously before that appointment, my faith was already going down and declining, and then this just kind of was a knock on it again, and it was just very, 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 very difficult. And I don't know, I just hearing about it, and then the doctor also mentioned, which I forgot to say, that there's no cure to it, but he said that we can help with pain management with using medication. And for those of you that know me in real life and not just on YouTube, you will know that that is the thing that I hate to hear, when it's pain management with medication. First of all, I hate medication. I hate taking medication because I don't like the way that it makes me feel. Second of all, I don't like when it's just for management. It's not necessarily helping me, if that makes sense. So without the medication, that I'm back to square one. So I'd rather it just be settled and be over and done with. Like if it was just, you just take this medication for a week and then you'll be fine, I'm more inclined to do that. But for one that is basically you're living on for the rest of your life, I was like, yeah, I'm not happy about that. So again, that added to everything as well. And I just remember crying and saying, God, like I just really need your help. I just really need to get through this. And if this is something I'm gonna have to live with, and I was just really confused and I couldn't get my mind around it. And then when I was thinking about this and thinking about sharing this with you guys, I thought of a couple of verses from Psalm 40. And what the first verse I want to read is actually Psalm 40, verse 1. And it said, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. And I literally was crying. And the reason why I will say I really like this verse, and I believe God inspired me to share this today, is that when I was literally crying, God was listening. And even though it didn't feel like that at first, because I was like, well, nothing seems to be changing, I started noticing that over time, my mentality changed. And like I've said in the previous vlogs before, even when I'm in physical pain, when my mental state starts to get better, even if the physical pain is still there, it's still as strong, it's still as intense, I feel better because mentally I'm stronger. So I honestly felt God working on me with that. Then this next verse as well in Psalm 40 again, but verse 3, it says, he has put a new song in my mouth, praise to our God. Many will see it and fear and will trust in the Lord. And this one basically made me think of painful purpose as a whole, because during that time, as I said, it was very difficult. And I think the great thing about doing painful purpose and God inspiring me to share with you guys kind of the struggles, the ups and downs in my life, is that I actually have to speak about it and I have to remember what God's brought me through. So I guess my encouragement for you guys today is that God does hear you, and God does incline onto you. And even if you don't feel like he's answering straight away, you feel like you're going through these tough seasons and you're praying constantly and your faith is waning, trust me, God is listening. Trust me, God is answering. And bit by bit, he's building you up. I don't know what exactly he's going to do. Only God himself knows that. But he is definitely building you up for something. He's making you stronger than ever before. And it kind of fits in with the quarterly lesson that I've been studying this week and last week, and it's talking about going through trials and how it strengthens us, how it defines our character. And then it will use the analogy of gold, and when you're trying to purify gold, you keep putting it in the fire. If you take it back out and it's still not completely pure, you have to put it back in at a higher temperature and stuff like that. And that is the last thing you want to hear when you're going through a trial season, that God is intentionally allowing you to go through these trials, because it's not God that necessarily puts you in these situations. Like, God cannot do evil, but God will use evil for good and for your good. And the second thing from the verse 3 as well is share your testimonies, share what God has done previously, because when you're sharing things, you're like, wait, so God got me through that, so I know that he will get me through this. The circumstance and the situation may be slightly different, but they usually have patterns. I don't know about you guys, but that's for me. They usually have patterns, because as I've said to you already, my health trials have all been kind of similar, where there's still this confusion about what's actually going on. But each time God just keeps showing me that he is stronger than any of these trials, any of these issues, these struggles that I face. And he is going to show you the same thing. God is going to work in and through you. God is going to do amazing things in you. And though it does not feel nice when you are in the fire. It does not feel nice when you're in the trial and the testing and the struggle. Know that God is doing something great. God is refining you like fine gold. And when he is finished with you, you're going to look immaculate. And I'm not saying looking immaculate physically, because I know that when I've gone through some hard times, I look like rubbish. But I mean, just in the sense that you will be stronger than you've ever been before. So just keep holding on. And I don't know who needs to hear this today, but just keep holding on and know that this testing season is not going to last forever. Yes, I will see you guys hopefully by the grace of God in 2 weeks time, and please do not forget to watch my shorts that will be on YouTube. So on the weeks that I don't have a vlog like this, I will have shorts, just little encouragement pops of video. I really enjoyed doing them, guys, so I hope you guys are enjoying them as well. Please don't forget to watch those as well, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel for more encouragement videos as well. But I'll see you guys next time by the grace of God. Bye.